Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and here I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful extended holiday weekend. I know Michelle and I, we are back in Fort Worth, Texas right now. Had such a wonderful time, but it's hot here, just like it was in California a week ago. It was hot there, but I tell you what, we had to cope with that in our best way. I mean, first of all, stay out the heat. Stay out the heat. Drink lots of water. But I want to welcome wherever you're watching the show at, whether it's E360 television, whether it's YouTube, StreamYard, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, over 20 plus other live streaming networks, platforms. You know, if you want to be part of this great conversation, a couple ways you can do that. You can call in the radio. We're going to bring them in shortly at 1-888-577-2473. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring my absolutely wonderful co-host here, Michelle Cooley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You're right. It is hot, but we left California just in time because from what I hear, it's hotter there when we left. So, but it's still hot in Texas. But yeah, drink lots of water, have the fan AC on, just stay cool. Just stay cool.
You got to stay cool because while we are in trying times, especially climate change. A lot of people don't believe in it, but I'm convinced that some of the things that we do has altered the universe, has altered the climate, and we are having problems right now. But, you know, I'm so excited about this guest that we have on the show today. But first of all, I want to get the radio portion started. And then we're going to introduce this great guest. We're going to talk about this. So let's get the radio portion of it started first. Kevin, you got it. Let's do it.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley. Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show today. And this guest that we got on the show today, I love this woman, been knowing her for quite some time. And Michelle, I don't think she ever aged. She's still probably 35 years old. I mean, I haven't seen her age at all, So we talking about Paula Shaw, and we're gonna get to her in a minute. But I tell you, wherever you are listening to this, whether you're listening to it on the radio, KCBQ, AM 1170, The Answer, FM 96.1, The Answer out of San Diego. Whether you're watching on E360 television, whether you're watching it on 20 plus other live streaming networks, welcome to the show. And if you want to be part of the show, all you do is a couple of ways. You can go to the comments, give StreamYard permission to use your Facebook picture, and you can ask this great guest, Michelle or myself, any questions that you want to, or you can call into the radio station at 866-577-2473. So how you doing today, Michelle?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about this guest too. She is just a lovely human being. She has such a beautiful spirit, and we are so excited to have her back on the show again and again. I mean, she's been a frequent guest, so we're just really excited.
Well, she's been on the show several times. She always brings a whole lot of knowledge and wisdom, and she teaches us a different lesson every time that she's on the show. So, and I tell you, one thing about this young lady that's on the show, she gave me my first opportunity on her show to get into radio and led the television and everything else. So this is the person that got me started, and we love her, and I appreciate her, and I can't wait to get her on. But Michelle, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely wonderful guest.
Great. So the title of the show is Lessons of a 72nd Birthday. And the purpose is getting to know life transitions coach, grief specialist, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and media host Paula Shaw. And Paula's going to discuss the important things she has learned each year, which includes the importance of family and surrounding yourself with the right people. She's going to talk about learning to love yourself and actually doing things that show it, and also staying in the moment and living it. Paula also will address loyalty, love, and support, and why these are critical to expansion and growth. Now let's talk about Paula. Paula, again, is a life transitions coach and grief specialist. She's also a best-selling author, keynote speaker, media host on her own show, Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. For more than 25 years, Paula has been dedicating to helping people navigate the stress of change and challenge using mind, body, tools, and techniques. She's a founding member of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. She has degrees in education and communications from Long Beach State University, as well as graduate counseling credentials in grief and addictive disorders from Loyola Marymount University. Paula is the author of several books, including Chakras, The Magnificent Seven, Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? And her latest book, Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say. Audience, James Cooley Show welcomes back Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to the show, Paula. Welcome back. Oh, wow. Hold on. Did you just have a birthday?
I did. Just yesterday.
And you have... I don't know how you do it, but you have
say
an
more,
age.
say more, JC, say more.
Well, Paula, we miss you. We miss you so much, and it's always a pleasure having you on the show. And I have to always remind our viewers and our listeners that you gave me my first opportunity by being a guest on your show, and I'm just so thankful and grateful that you did that. And it's kind of blossomed a little bit, as you see.
Well,
I hope I didn't do you. I hope I made you proud. You know?
And you always forget the part where you just dazzled the station manager and got offered your own show within a week. Actually, right there in the hallway, as I recall. So there you go.
Oh, it's God is good. Hey, Paula. So you've been on the show many times.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind our viewers and our listeners who is Paula Shaw? What inspires her, and what keeps her motivated?
Ooh, wow. Good question, JC. All right, Paula Shaw. Well, technically, professionally, I am a life transition coach, meaning I help people who are dealing with the upheaval of change in their lives, even change that you purposely walk into, like marriage or a move or a new job, can sometimes cause upheaval that you need help with. I also am an author, and Michelle mentioned my 3 books. I am a speaker, and I am the proud host of a podcast called Change It Up Radio. It began as a radio show, and we loved the title so much we kept it, even though now we only do a podcast. But that is one of my greatest joys, because Change It Up speaks to this very thing I was just saying, that change, while we need it and we love it and it keeps life interesting and exciting, it also causes discomfort. Change comes with upheaval, and we humans like things nice and familiar and comfortable and sort of the same. And so when that upheaval comes, sometimes people need help in dealing with it. And that's the work I do in my private practice. On the podcast, we try to bring our listeners information that makes change smoother and more productive, or we spotlight change makers like Mr. J.C. Cooley, Dr. J.C. Cooley, who are trying to make the world a better place. So the podcast is really my fun zone.
Wow, always listen to your podcast. I would listen, and actually, I appeared on your show a couple of times. But even before you came up with Change It Up Radio, I think that was about 7, 8 years ago. You had me as a guest
Yes, on
on you and Don's
transition
transition.
radio.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
hey, Paul, I want to talk about the title of the show, Lessons from a 72-year-old, or 72nd birthday. Let me get it right. What inspired you to choose that topic and to discuss that on today's show?
Ooh, good question too. Well, I turned 72 yesterday, and I'm very excited about the fact that at this age, I still feel very youthful, and I look pretty okay too. And so I think I started thinking about what's contributed to that. What are the things in my life that keep my energy, my spirit, my mentality, all of that youthful and alive and energetic. And so I thought, well, there are products I use that really help with that. There's a lifestyle, there's nutrition, and there's a mindset. And so I thought, well, let's talk about those things because heck, I've been around 72 years learning all this stuff. So it's my joy and my privilege to be able to share it, JC.
Well, I'm gonna have to say this again. I've been knowing you for quite some time, Paul, and I'm dead serious. You have not aged at all, and so I think we got to share with the world what Paula is doing. I mean, so other people can know about this secret and like, hey, if she looked beautiful like this, and I mean, energetic and happy and all of this, I need to figure out what this is. So I want to talk about all of those things today, Paula. I want to talk about all of those things.
I'm an open book.
As you reflect on your recent birthday, what were some of the most important things that you learned each year? I'm talking about every year, but especially this last year, because we all been going through a lot of changes, a lot of things been happening in society, COVID, war over Ukraine, all type of stuff like that. That's affecting all of us, regardless of your socio-economical background. It's affecting us mentally, physically, and emotionally. So, what have you learned over the last year or before that keep you focused on who you are today?
Wow. So that question is sort of like eating an elephant. And that old joke, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So I'll try to chunk this down a bit. But I think one of the first things I would love to talk about is, boy, this year has really solidified for me the value of family. And I'm fortunate enough to have a wonderful family. They were all here 2 days ago at my home. And, we all look forward to getting together. I got calls from everybody yesterday on my official birthday, thanking me over and over again for the wonderful day they'd had the day before. We're really blessed that way in that we love each other and we really look forward to being together. And I know that's not the case in every family, but some of what I realized for myself, especially this year, that is so precious about family is, we don't always agree. We aren't always the same. We don't all have the same ideas about what's a good thing to do and what's not. But when the dissension happens, when there's disruption, we don't throw each other away. We still stay family. We still keep loving each other. And so we work it out. We talk about it. We do what we need to do to keep that relationship strong. And I
I
think
said, hold that thought right there. Hold that thought
Sure.
on keeping the relationships going. Because we got to take a station break.
Okay.
I can't wait to get back and pick this conversation. If you want to be part of this great conversation, you can call in at 1-866-577-2473, or you can go to the comment portion of wherever you're watching or listening to this ad and just ask this great lady any question you want to. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that
Listen up, it's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Hey.
Streaming now at theanswersandiego.com and odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I got absolutely fantastic guests here. And I tell you, I learned so much from this young lady, and I do call her a young lady. She says she's 72. I don't believe it. I mean, I'm gonna have to ask for a birth certificate or something because she do not look any older than 35. But
I love you even more than I did before.
So our listeners and our viewers, if you want to be part of this great conversation again, all you have to do is pick up the phone. The number's there, 866-577-2473, or just go to the comments portion of wherever you're watching or listening to this ad and just ask her any question that you want to. Now, Paula, we left off with family and stronger, just a family makes you strong. It should, and you have to have that close knit. Can you pick it up from there?
Absolutely. I think the last point I was making is that even when we disagree as family, we don't throw each other away. We work it out. We do what's necessary to keep the relationship strong. And that's one of the secrets of why family is so important and how family can serve us so beautifully. Because those strong relationships, we just know we can always count on. We know that's going to be our safe harbor when life gets tricky. Or when, as my friend Ellen McCarty says, when life is lifing. And when life is lifing, we need help usually because it's hard to navigate our way through that by ourselves, especially if we get up in our head or we start believing things people are saying that are negative. That's when you need the safety of that family unit that loves you and that's going to stand by you no matter what. And this is a biggie, JC. They accept you for who you are. They may even wish you were different, but they accept you and love you as you are. And that is huge, absolutely huge for any human being.
That is. I mean, and especially family, because I believe, regardless of, you can have some great friends, you can have all of those things, but it just they can't take the place of family.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, Paul, I believe that family is not always blood related. If that makes any sense, it's not always. When you accept somebody into your family, I believe that you trust them.
Mm-hmm.
They trust you, and maybe that's not your brother, sister, your son or daughter, mother, but
Very
their
true.
family. And they just, I know I got some friends of mine that I grew up in high school with. Many of them are closer, and I consider them as family. And
Yes.
we've been knowing each other and been hooking up. I mean, for the last 50 years. And if you are with somebody for 50 plus years, I mean, that's family.
And you make such a great point, JC, because family doesn't, in fact, my original training is in alcohol and drug abuse. And very often the family of origin, which is how we refer to the blood family, becomes a not healthy, safe place for a person who's trying to get clean. And so we suggest that they avoid interaction with that family until they're in a better place. And so who becomes your family? It may be your AA buddies. It may be other people who are working different kinds of programs with you that are, as you say, really good, safe friends. So yes, family can come in many different packages.
Wow. So I love it, Paula. I love it. I love it. So we're going to dive off into a little bit deeper. We call it the do's and don'ts of life and what the family, you already mentioned that, what family brings and that others might not. Why is it important to feel safe and comfortable in life, regardless of who you are?
Yeah, I love that question, JC, because we can't be our authentic selves if we don't feel safe and we don't feel comfortable. And I'd add this, and if we don't feel accepted, and that's another beautiful thing family can provide, acceptance of who you are, acceptance of your problems, acceptance of your struggles, acceptance of your dreams. That acceptance is such a beautiful support base. And so we really need that in order to thrive, in order to really be able to step out, especially if one has big dreams, as you have had in your life, and I have had in my life. When you have big dreams, if there isn't that safety net behind you saying, yeah, you can do it, go ahead, you can do it. If you don't have that, it can be so difficult to muster up your courage and step out there and do something different that maybe nobody in your family has ever done before. And yeah, I was actually the first of my 36 cousins to graduate from college. And then my sister graduated and my brother graduated. But I was the first one out of 36 grandchildren that my grandparents had. And certainly there were times when it was hard and when I could have gone, well, nobody else has done this. Why do I have to? what I dreamed that I would be the first. And so I did what was necessary to make that happen. And I'm so glad I did, because it opened doors that I never would have had otherwise.
Wow. So you just mentioned a whole lot in that package that you just talked about. And one of the messages that I always talk about, and in order to move forward, in order to achieve and want to achieve anything, first of all, you got to know yourself. I mean, what I'm saying is you got to put everything on the table. I mean, for you, yourself. I mean, the good, the bad, the endeavor, you have to put everything on there. And then, once you identify all of these things, you have to look at that person, I believe, Paul, and say, wow, that is who I am. I can sit back and pretend and fake around other people, but you can't lie to yourself. I mean, so you know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself. You know, so, and that's having confidence in who you are. And I believe, Paula, that and I have listened to you over the years. I mean, all the great. A person is able, regardless of whatever challenges or trials and tribulations that they're going through, and we all going to go through something. It's easier to pull back, knowing yourself, and say, okay, I can't stay on this road that long. I got to get it together. Can we talk about that a little bit, because you deal with clients and folks that do experience these type of tragedies, and it's kind of hard for them to get back on the right track unless they dig deep inside and know who they are. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. And JC, as I was listening to the intros at the beginning of the show, and when we came back from the break, everything that you stand for and everything that you teach, I think, is so important and so critical. Knowing yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself. These things are so critical to success in life and to just navigating life. Because as you just pointed out, there's nobody that I've ever known, or I think I ever will know, who hasn't gone through some tough times. Sometimes it happens early in life, as it happened with you. Sometimes it happens in marriage, or after one loses that spouse after being with them for most of their adult life. But we all go through some period that tests our mettle, so to speak. That another line I heard in your intro was, life lessons, embrace them. We can embrace them or we can resist them. And I think if we can embrace them, even when they are hard, even when they just suck and you're going, why me? There's always value in looking for the lesson, in looking for some new awareness, or even maybe some new tool. Sometimes we find a behavior, like perhaps journaling or perhaps gratitude walking. We find a behavior that helps us get through the hard times. Then let's remember that. Let's throw that in the toolbox and use that next time stuff comes up. So I think that can be
you mentioned something earlier, and it inspired me so much. I don't know if you remember a few months back. I forgot what our friend name is, but she was talking to you about life and
Ellen McCarty. I mentioned her in my first.
So life and I was so inspired by that the next day I sit back and wrote a piece about life and that's going to be in my new book. My book that's coming out in November, so that's going to be a part of that.
She's going to love that.
But I was
I'll
so
send
inspired.
you the spelling of her name so you'll get it right in your book. So
I will. Oh yeah, but life and just like what you just mentioned, you never know what life is going to throw at you, and we have to always be open-minded that challenges are going to come our way, and it all depends on how we prepare ourselves. Even in death, it's going to occur. And many times we get caught on that side where we just start looking at the dark side, start walking backwards, and we find ourselves in trouble as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we got about a minute before the break. You want to comment on that real quickly?
Well, first of all, you're so right. I mean, when life is lifing, and we know what that feels like, that's when we're going, oh God, this sucks. Or we're going, oh, why me? When that's happening, that's when we need the tools, or we need the friends, or we need the family to support us, to hold us up so we can remember who we are and be strong and learn from that adversity rather than let it sink us. And I like to say we are always at choice. No matter how awful something is, we're always at choice as to how we will respond to it.
Wow. I tell you, we're going to take a station break at this moment. But if you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-866-577-2473. Or just like I said, go to the comments and type in any comments that you have. I'll make sure I put it on the screen and make sure that the Paula answer any question you have. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences, raw conversations, one destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
For greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and just sitting there having a magnificent time. Paula Shaw. And I tell you, such a wonderful person, such a positive attitude, such a wealth of knowledge. I mean, she all that, a bag of chips, anything else that you want to throw into that. I mean, because she is bringing it. So if you want to be part of the conversation real quickly, that's 1-866 577-2473. That's a great radio station, KCBQ AM 1170, The Answer FM 96.1. Or you can go to wherever you're watching this at and go to the comments and put it in, and we're gonna make sure that your questions get answered because hey, you got an expert here, Paula, and she's gonna take care of all that stuff. So, hey, Paula,
Yes.
can you tell our audience why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people? Because real quickly, as you know, just as well as I do, a person is an average of the 5 people that they hang out with the most.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and so you got to make sure that who you're hanging out with, that's who you are, and you're an average of that. You might not be 5, 4, 3. You certainly don't want to be 2, 1, but you want to be somewhere in the middle, I think. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. I think, you just made a great point. In fact, I was thinking of saying that very same thing. But, think about this. I'm going to approach this from 2 different perspectives. One, a little more mundane level, an obvious level of the people you hang out with are going to have certain conversations. They're going to have certain outlooks, certain perceptions of life in the world and politics and people. And that's going to go into your subconscious mind. Everything we experience goes into the subconscious. And believe me, at some point, it's going to be regurgitated back out into the world. So what do you want in your subconscious mind, first of all? So be sure that the content that you're allowing in is the content that you would want to grow and project. Also, I think Michelle mentioned in my bio, I'm a founding member of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. So the difference in the work we do is we don't just do talk therapy. We intervene on the energy system. So what that might mean is maybe tapping meridian points as we're discussing something. It might mean working with the energy centers, the chakras, working with the biofield, working with the subconscious mind. We have found over the years that when you work on this level, people's issues shift much more quickly because they're not just working on the one level of intellect, because we are energy beings. And everybody's energy that comes within a few feet of us impacts our energy field. So think about that. Those 5 people that are hanging out with you, if they're negative, if they're abusive, if they believe terrible things, all of that low vibration stuff is bombarding your energy field and your subconscious mind. Do you want that? I don't think so. That's like saying, you till the soil because you want to grow a beautiful crop and then you just go ahead and throw weeds in it. No, that's not what we want. We want to grow something beautiful, something productive.
And so, well put. So, what type of people should people surround themselves with? I mean, how do you go about choosing that right person, and what should you do when you should not be hanging around this person or that person, but you like them, but they're always negative, they always bring you down, and sometimes we have to make some tough decisions. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I love that. That's really a great question. First of all, for me, it doesn't matter if we're working on your business goals or you're working on your relationship with a partner, a romantic partner, or just your friends. But you want to pick people who are open, who are honest, who are successful at what you're trying to succeed at. And if that's just being more open, more perceptive, more loving, Find people who are already experiencing that in their life, because they're going to show you the ropes, so to speak. They're going to be a great example for you of how to get what you want to get, whether it's material or emotional or spiritual, doesn't matter. Now, the second half of your question, I really love, JC, because we've all had those relationships, and sometimes they're with family. The ones where, you love the person, but every time you leave them, you just feel a little down, or you feel tired, exhausted, or you're just not as much in love with yourself as you were when you arrived. That person is taking your energy, which might be vibrating up here, and it's dragging it down to a lower vibration. And that doesn't help us. We want people whose energy is maybe even a little higher than ours, so we can rise to that and feel better about ourselves, about our lives, about our endeavors. So I got to say, as hard as it may be, and if it's family, it's really hard, but at least cut back on the amount of time that you spend with those person. Cut back, or just prepare yourself before you go in, and just tell yourself, you know what? My back is just like a duck's for the next few hours. If anything that happens is going to be like water rolling off a duck's back. I am not going to take it seriously. It's not who I am. It's just what I'm experiencing. And that's a big difference.
Wow. You mentioned something, and it's funny. You said you show up, that person show up around you, and you go in there loving yourself, and all of a sudden after the conversation, you leave, you're not even loving yourself that much anymore. I mean, I ain't never heard anybody put it like that, but sometimes it's draining. Mm-hmm. And regardless, what you want to do is like, I can't take this. I don't feel like feeling that way today. Mm-hmm. But it only happens when I come around this person. I mean, I just can't do it. Mm-hmm. So how do you go about it?
We got to pace ourselves with those people. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say, Jason?
No. You have to pace yourself. Let's pick it up with that. You have to pace yourself with them. And you said sometimes you just have to cut all the way back, weed yourself off that because
they'll sap your energy. They will sap your energy, even if you sort of go into the gathering with a grin and bear it attitude, and you just go, no matter what my mother says to me, I'm not going to let her get to me today. You're still getting bombarded with these little barbs. Now, in my case, my mother is one of my biggest fans, so I'm lucky I don't experience that. But some people do. And that's what I'm saying. Either you come up with some tool, like maybe seeing your mother in your mind's eye as a child who's acting out because she doesn't feel good about herself, or remembering that your mother had a really challenging childhood herself and she's wounded still. Sometimes it can help us to come from a place of empathy for the person who is challenging us. But a lot of times we just need to be sure we have enough space from that person not to get sucked down in that negative vortex, because that can be really a nasty thing.
Wow. We're going to hold it with that. We got to take another station break. But Paula, when we come back, we're going to talk about, Paula, how you go about staying 35 for 30-something years, and what products are you using? We got to share that with our listeners. So I tell you want to be part of the conversation? That's 1-866-577-2473, or go to your comments portion of whatever you're watching this at. Put it in. I promise I'll get you on the screen. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The JC.
a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Storytelling, James. I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show, and I tell you, Paula is absolutely wonderful. We are educating our viewers and our listeners, and I tell you that if they are not getting this, they need to go to the comments or call in or do something and let us know that they're getting this, because I'm getting it. And it's all about self-happiness. It's all about being able to, just like I mentioned, share yourself, share your ideas, share your views, and also be happy about you being you. You being you. So in doing that, I believe that you have to take care of yourself. So that sometimes requires self-care.
Yes.
Self-care. And meaning that you have to invest in yourself. Just like I keep saying that, but I mean it. Whatever you are doing, you take care of yourself, and always energetic, always happy, always looking like you 30. Let's talk about that. I mean, what are you doing, Paula?
I love that question because obviously we can't just keep putting terrible things in our bodies and sitting around watching TV and, and then end up feeling healthy and good. So there's a lot of talk these days about the morning routine. And I do think that that's a really important thing. What do you do every morning? And I'll tell you what I do every morning. I wake up, and I try to always wake up at the same time and have gotten myself a good 8 hours of sleep. And then the first thing I do is meditate. And that's my way of setting the energetic tone of my day, of connecting with higher mind than mine, and of just feeling that I'm connected on a bigger level. Then I exercise. I do a lot of stretching. One thing I've noticed as you go down the road of life, you got to do a lot of stretching in the morning because things have gotten a little sore overnight. And then I'm out exercising, usually a walk. And I live in an area with a lot of hills. So I go up and down those hills to keep my strength. And then after all that, I'll do my green drink. And then I make myself my very special cup of coffee, which I'm only having one of these days. and then I go into my day. But it begins with some self-loving behavior. The other thing that I have to confess is a very big part of feeling really healthy and youthful and looking pretty youthful are, for now, I'm going on 5 years of using the LifeWave phototherapy patches. And they look just like this. They kind of look like little round Band-Aids. They use no drugs or chemicals. And of course, this one that you're seeing here, I have on both wrists. This is the energy enhancer. I always wear these when I'm going to do a show, and they just keep my mind sharp and keep me feeling energetic. But my favorite is LifeWave has created stem cell activating patches that get your own body to produce stem cells that are perfect for you and that are like the kind of stem cells you produced in your 20s and 30s. And I think that's made a big difference in my face. It's really increased my collagen. And so I'm big on the LifeWave products. And of course, if any of your listeners want to know more, they can reach out to me at my contact info, which I think will probably be in your show notes, or email me at paulashawpatches.com. Paula Shaw Patches at gmail.com.
So these patches, I mean, obviously they're fantastic. How long does it take for a person, or do you know, if they're utilizing this, for them to see a difference or feel a difference or notice there is a change?
Yes, that's a great question, JC. You know what? Some people feel a change in the first 24 hours. A lot of people notice they're sleeping better right away. A lot of people notice more energy right away. For pain, which these stem cell activating pathways can be great for pain, sometimes that might take a little longer. For me, I have to tell you, I was into a routine similar to what I just described. I was really in pretty healthy shape. I've always had a good diet. I'm very careful about what I put in my body. Not fanatical. I'll enjoy things too. Yesterday on my birthday, I had short rib fries with my children. They were great. But I normally try to eat a healthy diet. But it's about 2 months into using the X39 patch, I went to wash my face one day and I went, oh my goodness, my cheeks are so much spongier. And I realized my collagen had really increased. And that's what's also smoothed out my fine lines. It was the collagen. But the best part is my joints don't hurt. I don't have chronic back pain. A lot of that was creeping up on me 5 years ago. But it's not part of my life at all today.
Wow. So, you know, Paula, we're going to have to talk about this because I'm going to have to get some of that. You know what I mean? I have watched you over the years, and whatever that is, and listeners, you might want to reach out and get some of this as well. You know, so always energetic, always happy, and never age. I'm telling the truth. I'm just being honest with you. That's just how it is. So, Paula, can you tell our viewers why it's so important to stay in the present, live in the present, and not wander back in the past?
I love that we're going to be ending on this, because here's the fact, you guys. The only place that we are really alive in our lives is in the present moment. Everything else is past, and that's gone, or future, and that hasn't happened yet. So only right here in this moment can we really feel life. Only there can we suck the juice out of our lives and really experience them. And that's also the only place where we have any power to create change or to create.
Wow. You know, Paula, I'm gonna be honest with you. We having such a wonderful time. I had lost track on the time. And I know my producer would have said, "Hey, JC, okay, you only got 2 minutes left." So hey, Paula, real quickly, what are a couple of quick takeaways, 30 seconds or less, that you want our viewers to get from this great message that we have today? And also, again, we got to follow up with another interview real soon.
Always happy to do that for you, JC. I don't know. I feel like the core of what we've been saying is love yourself enough to take good care of yourself on every level, to accept yourself, to surround yourself with the right people, and to just fully enjoy and be in a state of gratitude about who and what you have in your life, because gratitude is one of the highest vibrations there is, right up there with love. So love,
gratitude. Love, be grateful, and just do some of that self-care like that you just talked about.
Yes.
And we have to always try to stay in the present and not live in the past. Paula, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. And I'm serious. We got to do another follow-up in about a month if you have time in your schedule. I want everybody to always take time for yourself and always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do, because it's your life and you have to care about it just like everyone else. And by doing all these things, dreaming big, thinking big, and being big, that means we want to and we can do. So thank you so much, Paula. Thank you.
My pleasure,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So here we go. Hate to slide, but I love you all. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us for the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. To learn more about Dr. James